Okay, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you my top 5 rackets that are going to help you out from all areas of the court. These are rackets that blend power, control and spin all in one. They're almost like the tennis cheat codes. But just before we get started, if you could smash that subscribe button, that would help me out massively. I'm trying to get to 10k subscribers before the end of Wimbledon. Anyway, let's get into the video. Okay, so in at number 5, we've got the Tecnifibre T-Fight 305. The specs of this frame: it's got a 98 square inch head size, an 18-19 string pattern, and it's 305 grams in weight. What I was getting from this racket was a lot of control with also a decent amount of pop and surprisingly enough spin. I actually think this is the best 18-19 string pattern on the market. Others can feel a little bit stiff, whereas this racket really feels like you can make it come alive. It's also a little bit more headlight. Well, it definitely feels more headlight than the previous model, so it actually serves as a really good platform racket. So if you want to build this up, then you've got a lot of room to add your weight and stuff like that. Also new additions, it's got the glossy paint job. I'm always a big fan of glossy paint jobs. I really feel like they can help you to, feel the racket a little bit more. This is definitely more on the control side compared to the other rackets on the list. It's definitely, probably the best control racket on the list, but I was a big fan. Really helped me from the baseline when I was trying to take time away, maintain control. On returns, it was crisp. On the volleys, again, getting a lot of control. And on the serve, decent bit of pop, able to hit my spots with a lot of precision. So that is our number 5. Let's go on to number 4. So in at number 4, we have the Head Gravity Tour. It's got a 98 square inch head size, 16-19 string pattern, and it is 305 grams in weight. It's a little bit of a contrast to the T-Fight 305. This is way more geared towards power and spin, a little bit less control. Not quite a boomstick, but verging on that a little bit. It was great fun to play with, especially from the back of the court, getting a lot of spin, a lot of height over the net, a lot of power. And the feeling of this racket as well is actually something that I was really enjoying. It wasn't stiff, it feels quite soft and forgiving. The sweet spot feels big, and it's got this kind of, I don't know how you say it, like the sides of the racket kind of pop out a little bit more. It's got that kind of extreme head shape. Yeah, it's a little bit more like a teardrop shape, and what this does is it creates bigger gaps in the string near where the sweet spot are, giving you more power, giving you more spin. The reason why this didn't score more highly on the list was because I felt like at times that it would be difficult to trust. This is my opinion purely, that when I got into matches and things like that, when I was getting into tight situations, you really have to commit with this thing. High racket head speed, a lot of rip up the back of the ball. So if you're somebody that prefers to play from the baseline, heavy ground strokes, fantastic. But it also does perform well at the net. It does give you good feel. Again, it's control through power. If you feel like the racket is giving you a lot of power, you don't have to force things. Serving with this thing was on another level. I felt like I could really send it, like really pop it, and it was giving me a lot for free. And I also feel like this racket is quite easily customizable as well. It's not massively, head heavy. It's head lighter, so you can throw a bit of weight on there as well if you're into your customization. Anyway, number 4, Head Gravity Tour. Time for number 3. In at number 3, we have a racket that I did a pretty extensive racket test on for about 6 months. It's the Head Extreme Pro, one of my favorite rackets on the market. I just feel like this delivers from all areas pretty equally. I can't really fault it. Sweet feeling, pops the ball, a lot of spin. It's probably lesser on the power side, even though a lot of people think it is a powerful racket. I wasn't really getting that. I was getting more control, more spin, And the thing that I think is fantastic about this racket is the comfort. It was just, straight away from when I picked it up, it was beautiful to hit with. It was so easy on my arm. It just felt great. So if you're somebody who wants that all-court playability, you want a racket to help you out in all areas, particularly the spin, but then you also want something that is forgiving and, it's going to keep you injury-free, that sort of thing. You want something that's comfortable, then this is going to be a perfect racket for you. I really felt like this came into its own in the trickier conditions. So the wind, when the balls were slower, that sort of thing, this racket really did perform well. The maneuverability was excellent, and maintaining control, contacting the ball at different heights was just fantastic. But yeah, really solid frame, performs really well from all areas of the court. There's a reason why a lot of players choose the Head Extreme. And there's a reason why I chose it as well. Anyway, number 2. Straight in at number 2, we have the Blade version 9 with the addition of Ella's Piggy right there. Specs of this frame, it's got a 98 square inch head size, 16-19 string pattern, and it is 305 grams in weight. Yes, 305 grams. As you can tell, there's a bit of a pattern going on, with the weights, with the string patterns, with the head sizes. They're all kind of, very similar. I feel like that's an optimum kind of, range for being able to perform well in, all the court. For me, this felt like the best feeling racket out of the top 5. It was crisp, the control was pretty unmatched, and it still delivers a good bit of pop and a good bit of spin. And again, because it is slightly lighter, it can serve as a platform racket as well. You can still customize this and not worry about the swing weight going too heavy. But there is a reason why so many players play with this racket. In particular, I've seen quite a few pros that I know that play futures. They've gone to the Blade Pro and then they've actually switched back to this. That's how good this racket is. So yeah, it's a really solid frame. There's a reason why these fly off the shelf. Loved hitting with it. Like I say, it gave me control and feel from all areas of the court. In particular, an area which I didn't really feel like this racket would help me out as much was actually the return. And it was fantastic. It was, stable while giving me that feel and not being too stiff. Anyway, enough rambling. It's time for our number 1. But before we do, just going to throw in a few honorable mentions, rackets that really surprised me, that I wasn't expecting to perform as well as they did. Just like to say a big thank you to All Things Tennis for supplying me with all the rackets, helping me to bring you guys better content. I've attached the link below to all of the rackets separately. So if you guys, like the look of them, you can go and take a look on the All Things Tennis website. Again, it's not an affiliate link. I'm not getting paid by All Things Tennis. They're not influencing any of my choices. This is purely, my testing and everything like that. So yeah, I'm not earning any money from this. So there's no affiliation. There's no brand affiliation, just to make that really clear. So just doing this to kind of, give my opinion and help players out, really, with their racket choices. Anyway, back to the video. Can't do a top 5 without mentioning a Yonex. So this is the E-Zone 98. Specs of this frame, it's got a 98 square inch head, 16-19 string pattern, and it's 305 grams in weight. Again, really similar to the rest of the rackets. Simple answer why this isn't in the top 5 is because I just didn't enjoy playing with it as much. I really enjoyed playing with the others. I really, had fun with them. And sometimes you just pick up a racket and, you just don't gel with it. And I think that is purely my opinion. I know loads of players who love this frame, gives them a lot, but for me, I just didn't enjoy it. Like previously, I did a video on the one-handed backhands, perfect rackets for the one-handed backhand. If you haven't watched that, go and check that out. I included the Percept 97. I felt that was a unbelievable feeling racket. Really gave me a lot on my serve. It was crisp, a lot of control, really, really precise. And I just didn't feel like I gelled with this racket as much as the Percept, but for me, well, it was the Percept 97, but for me, the Percept was more my kind of feeling, so that is the reason. So we're going to throw in a little wild card here. Never had a Solinco on my channel before, so this is the Solinco Whiteout version 2. It really surprised me. It's got a really good crisp feeling to it. Again, like a lot of control out of this and a decent amount of pop. Reason why it didn't make the top 5, just didn't feel like it performed as well as the others. But again, very underrated, enjoyable racket to play with. The only thing that I'm a little bit skeptical of is the paint job. But, I don't know much about fashion, as we all know. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Is the Solinco Whiteout a good paint job? Does it look cool? I don't know. I'm undecided. Okay, so in at number 1, we have the Babolat Pure Aero 98. In my opinion, this is the best all-round racket on the market. Gives you a perfect blend of spin, power, control. I mean, the spin on this thing is actually ridiculous. It just launches the ball. So surprised when I picked this up, started hitting with it, about how good this frame actually is. The only thing that I think lets it down slightly is it is very stiff. So if you're someone who, is prone to kind of like injuries, or, I've had players hit with this frame and they've come back to me and say, it hurts my arm or something like that, is string it with a softer string, string it slightly, looser in tension. You want to keep it easier on your arm. That's the only thing that I would say about this racket. But in terms of playability, there is a reason why, top pros are switching to this. Like Tsitsipas was using it until he probably got in trouble. Bublik, I'm pretty sure, is using this. Alcaraz, so many guys on the tour are switching to this type of model purely because of what it gives you. It's pretty much everything you need as a formula for a tennis racket. I mean, I can't really say much more about it. Like, there's not much else to say apart from the specs, which is a 98 square inch head size, 1620 string pattern, and it's got it's 305 grams in weight, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I picked up this frame, initially hit with it with Lynx Tour in it. It was a little bit stiff for me, didn't really get on with it. Tried it with a softer string, completely transformed it, and I was just launching the ball around, getting so much spin. Then I got it. I was like, this is the reason why so many players are using this racket. So I guess if you're stuck for a frame, like you're not sure what to get, this would be like a pretty perfect answer. Whatever game style you play, like I feel like this suits you. It was allowing me to move behind the baseline, launch the ball up with heavy spin. It was allowing me to, move forward, take the time away while maintaining control. I was able to generate power, had control on the volleys. My first serve, I don't feel like it really affected my first serve massively, but my second serve transformed it again, gave me a massive kicker. So really do recommend the Babolat Pure Aero 98. Anyway, that's it for today. Big thank you again for tuning in. Like to say, everyone that's supporting my channel, really appreciate it. If you haven't done already, massively appreciate a subscribe. If you can just smash that button, get me to 10K before the end of Wimbledon. And yeah, anyway, take care, guys. I'll see you next time.